Nothing is more admirable than having the courage to speak your truth even if it is uncomfortable. আব্বু probably আমাকে protect করতে পারবে না, আমি একা রাস্তায় হাঁটছি, তাও মনে হতো যে না আমার বাবা আছে আমার সাথে, I can do anything. I'm not very good with speaking. Not in real life, not in front of a stage, of course. I always like to communicate with words, and that's why I write letters since I was a child. ছোটবেলায় যখন আব্বুর সাথে রাগ করতাম, I would stop talking to him. মুখ দিয়ে কোনো কথা বলতাম না, তো চিঠি লিখে দিতাম যে আব্বু আমি তোমার উপর রাগ করেছি, তুমি আমার সাথে এখন থেকে চিঠিতে কথা বলবা. So I did that since I was a child, and I continue doing this ever since. And I think when I moved to Canada in 2021 during COVID, it was my first time away from home. It was my first time away from my family. Abbu খুবই overprotective ছিল. So he would never really allow me to go anywhere by myself, but কিভাবে জানি আমাকে বিদেশে পড়তে একা পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছে. ওটাকে নিয়ে মাঝখান দিয়ে অনেক আমাদের মারামারি, আব্বু দিবে না, আমি বলেছি যে না আমি I have a dream, I have a goal, I have to go আব্বু, and he agreed. তো আমি ভেবেছি যে if I go to Canada I'll be very happy, I'll be by myself, I'll have all my freedom, I'll be able to do whatever I want. কেউ কখনো আমাকে বলতে পারবে না রাত 9টার ভিতরেই ঘুমাতে হবে, আমি ফোন দেখতে পারবো না, ওয়াইফাই বন্ধ করে দিব, এখানে যাওয়া যাবে না ওখানে যাওয়া যাবে না. But then when I went to Canada, that is the thing I missed the most. আব্বু বলেছে যে রাত্রে যখন আমি লাইব্রেরি থেকে আসতাম রাত 2টা বাজে with like one meal in my stomach, আমি আব্বুকে ফোন দিতাম, even though আমি জানি আব্বু probably আমাকে protect করতে পারবে না, আমি একা রাস্তায় হাঁটছি, তাও মনে হতো যে না আমার বাবা আছে আমার সাথে, I can do anything. তো thank you. And ওই কারণেই আমি লেখা শুরু করেছি, because like I mentioned, আম্মুর সাথে আমি সকালে ঘুম থেকে উঠলেই একবার কথা বলি, রাত্রে ঘুমাতে যাওয়ার আগে একবার কথা বলি. আব্বুর সাথে ওভাবে হয় না. I try my best, but still I'm not very good with expressing my feelings for my father. I think বাবাদের সাথে ওভাবে ক্লোজ হওয়া is very hard আমাদের জন্য. আমরা অনেক সময় আমাদের ফিলিংস শেয়ার করতে পারি না for different reasons. তো আম্মুকে সব কিছুই বলা হয়, আব্বুকে কিচ্ছু বলা হয় না, তার জন্য লেটার্স লেখা শুরু করেছি, ইমেলে পাঠাতাম, ডিয়ার আব্বু, দিস ইজ মাই লেটার টু ইউ, দিস ইজ হাউ আই এম ফিলিং অন দিস স্পেসিফিক ডে. অ্যান্ড আই থিঙ্ক ওই আকারে আব্বু রেখেছে, হি পাবলিশড ইট উইথ দ্য ডেট, দ্য ডে আই সেন্ট ইট টু হিম, the reason how I was feeling. He didn't censor anything, and I asked him, why didn't you censor things that I wrote? I wrote about his farting, and I wrote about his jokes, I wrote about his silly, everything. And I said, Abbu, এগুলো যে তুমি দেখাবা মানুষ করে কি ভাববে আমাদেরকে? And he said, well, this is the truth, and I'm not going to hide the truth. And when I say this, I want to bring emphasis on how much my dad values the truth, and how much he values honesty, and he has put this value into me and my sisters. And I have a very short, I'm sorry if I sound a little everywhere, I feel a little nervous to be here. Abu mentioned that there's a lot of uncomfortable truths in the world, and that a lot of uncomfortable truths exist in my letter. But there's a lot of uncomfortable truths in life which we shy away from talking about, from facing. But if we can't face the truths on our own, if we cannot question what the definition of wrong is and what the definition of right is, what is humanity? What about humanity is left? I was hesitant on some letters. I was worried of the repercussions or how people would feel about what I was talking about. I questioned so many things. I questioned religion, I questioned patriarchy, misogyny. There's so many frustrations I had in my letters, and I felt uncomfortable speaking the truth in front of so many people. He said, it will stay as it is. Nothing is more admirable than having the courage to speak your truth, even if it is uncomfortable. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful that he allowed me to develop a personality of my own. He allowed me to speak my truth. He allowed me to question anything. ছোটবেলায় অনেক ঝগড়া লাগতো আমার আব্বুর মধ্যে. আব্বু বলতো এটা পরে তুমি বাইরে হতে পারবা না. বলতাম কেন? or এইটা তুমি করতে পারবা না, তো আমি বলতাম ছেলেরা করতে পারবে, হি ইজ লাইক ইয়েস তুমি পারবা না। তো এই আমাদের যুদ্ধ লাগতো দোনোজনের মধ্যে, কেন কেন কেন, and then we would reach a middle ground always, and I would understand his point of view and he would understand mine. আমাদের বাসায় we prioritize sitting on the table during dinner, and we talk about everything. Abu eta hoyeche ajke, what do you think? Abu, what do you think about that? And then many of the times it would turn into an argument, and many of the times we wouldn't be able to understand each other, because he belongs to a generation that I have never ever seen, and I belong to a generation that is so hard for him to understand as well. And I think many of the times we forget that this is the first life of our parents as well. Odero eta first life, orao first time shop experience korche. They haven't come with a guidebook of how to be a perfect parent. So there will be many times that they make mistakes, that we feel as children that they're not understanding us, that it's easy to blame our parents for our frustrations. Eta abbur karone hoyeche, ota ammur karone hoyeche, amar attitude problem ami eta abbur theke inherit korechi, but we have so many ways of blaming them for things that we can't achieve. But I think many of the times we forget to be gentle with our parents, because just like us, this is their first life. Every single day is their first ever and last day on this earth. They're never going to relive the same day again, just like me. And they've tried their best. Both my parents have tried their best in raising me, and I know a lot of you are parents here and you do the same. And I can't give any advice to parenting, but as a daughter I can say that I think one of the most important things, one of the most cherished things for us is support from our parents, and the belief that we can do anything. One more thing is comparison. When you compare us with other children or other people, it becomes very hard for us to accept ourselves. So please keep that in mind. Be gentle with your children, and if you are a child of someone, be gentle to your parents. There's a lot of forgiveness that is important to remember. I'm not going to say too much anymore. I just want to say lastly that I'm very grateful for my dad. I didn't want this book to be published at all. আমি অনেক আব্বু যখন আমাকে এডিটিং এর জন্য পাঠিয়েছে, আমি বই বলতাম যে আমি আব্বু এডিট করেছি, আমি তোমাকে পাঠিয়ে দেব, and then months এর পর months আমি আর এই বইকে নিয়ে কোনো কথাই বলতাম না যে না আমি এটা পাবলিশ করতে চাই না. And he was very adamant about it, and I understand why now. I'm very, very grateful for all the feedback that I've received from everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. It wasn't written for a book, so there's a lot of grammatical mistakes. There's a lot of weird kind of sentence structuring, and I hope that it's okay. I'm embarrassed by it, but it's very personal, and I hope you can understand and feel what I felt when I was there. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you.